right.
So
Well,
today,
yes, go ahead.
we'll talk about how to customize your course banner, how to transfer course content, the announcements tool, the new content experience, how to increase communication with students, assessment and feedback, grading, and the quick eval. I'm sorry about my cat in the room. So changing your course banner is an easy way to engage more with students, as you can put a relevant image instead of just a blank or mountain. And you can also change the name of your course to have important information such as semester. We've also had professors put in their Zoom information for easy access. And the way to do that is very simple. It's just you click on the three little dots on the top right, and then click change image or customize banner text.
And before we go next slide, I just want to add, if you're transferring the course content from the previous semester to the current one, and you have customized the banner and you put some more relevant information, maybe there was a fall semester 21, maybe you put the Zoom information there, and just make sure that you update it and it's current. Thank you. So, and now we're going to talk about how to bring the content to your course.
Transferring your content from a past course to a present one is a really easy way to make sure you have all of your information and that you're not missing anything and that it's consistent from semester to semester. So to do that, you head into Course Tools, Course Admin, and then under Site Resources, Import, Export, Copy Components. And I can demonstrate that for you right now.
The important part is to begin with the current course. So if you are teaching in the summer one, you would like to go to your summer one course. And there you will pick up the course that has more relevant information, whether it was the spring or the fall 21 or maybe summer 2021. Okay.
Exactly. So to do that, you go into your course, Course Tools, and then Course Admin, like I said earlier. And under Site Resources, Import, Export, Copy Components. And then you'll see this whole page. You're going to stick with the first one, copy components from another OR unit. And then you're going to search for the original course you're getting the content from. So the one from the past semester. I'm so sorry. So here you type in your course. Just for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to go with FYI. This one, and add selected. And then here you can either choose to copy all components or select components. If you do select components, you can pick which type of content you want to share with this course. So if you want to click only the content, only the discussion, only the assignments, grades, grade settings, and outcome, rubrics, and the course appearance. It's also helpful if midway through the semester you realize that you forgot something and you just want to add the assignments from last semester or even the previous one. So you select everything that you want. Do the content for this one, continue, and then finish to get everything in. So I'm not going to do that, but if you click finish, everything will be into your course under content, and you'll see everything as it was last semester. They'll be identical.
You would like to keep in mind that every time you're transferring the content from the previous semester to the current one, and you're using either a copy all components or the entire set of components, let's say discussions or assignments. If you had previously something in the current course, you will be putting additional information to, let's say, content or the assignments. So it will not be replacing. Let's say you would like to replace assignment 1 with the assignment 1 from fall 21. Unfortunately, you will get the duplicate rather than just put, exchanging one assignment for another. So you may want to mark it a little bit differently, when you're creating the new assignment and you're planning to.
Ruben, what's up?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Hello?
Okay. So when you're planning to copy components, you just want to keep in mind that some documents or some files may have similar naming. Just make sure that you know which one you're copying or which one you need to replace with. Okay, we can go ahead.
So next is the announcements tool, which is used to, as the name implies, post announcements to your students throughout the semester. To access them, you can either find them on the front page or under course tools and then announcements. An important thing to note when you transfer your content, as we mentioned earlier, to the new semester, all of the announcements will have the start date as the previous semester, as well as any dates that you mentioned in the announcement. It will be relevant for this course. So you have to make sure you go back and either update the dates, the content, or dismiss them. That way students don't see them and get confused.
You may want to keep the same announcements from last semester. Let's say you had a good number of video links that you would like to reshare in the new semester with them, but you're just not ready to release that yet. So what you can do, you can either schedule the announcement in advance. You can go by editing the existing announcement by clicking on the drop-down arrow next to the name of announcement, and that allows you to schedule the publishing of that announcement, or you can dismiss it for now. So that means it won't be available to students, but you as instructor still can see it and modify it as needed. If you delete any announcement, again, the deleted announcement could be such as old Zoom invite, or maybe some information which is not relevant any longer. Let's say you change your phone extension if you're working from college. So those things, of course, they can be completely removed. Right, we can go ahead with the next one.
So next is the new content experience, and we have a nice video from D2L to show.
Oh, Capucin, before you do that, can you make sure that the audio is going to be? Thank you.
Here it is.
From creating course content to grading quizzes, instructing is no easy task, but Brightspace makes the daily tasks easier. It helps instructors create engaging learning experiences without spending extra hours on the tedious work. Content that is aligned to outcomes can be created quickly using materials from publishers, open educational resources, Google Drive, OneDrive, video assignments, and more. For those that have a catalog of templates for HTML documents, they can access them in a simple drop-down menu when new content is being created. Context can be added with visual and rich descriptions for content, including embedded images and videos. As activities are added to the course, they can be shared with students right away using the activity feed, or scheduled for later. Content can be made visible or hidden to students using a quick hide or show toggle, or by using release conditions to personalize the pace and path for individual students. Simple visualizations give confidence that the right material and assessments are being provided to help students achieve their best outcomes. With Brightspace, you'll be able to reach every learner in a way that supports their learning style.
Okay. The reason why we wanted you to see the video is because, first of all, it demonstrates the look of the new content experience. Many of you have been working with the old content experience, where we had the tabs in certain ways, and you get more accustomed to utilizing that layout. Now with the new layout, it's the functionality is there. It's just the new places where they can be found. Some of the things has been removed, supposedly to facilitate our work. But again, as long as you learn where all the tools are, you can start being comfortable with manipulating all the content. All right, let's go next.
Next, to simplify communication with your students. So there's a couple different ways to do that. One of them is the activity feed that's in your homepage right under the announcements. It acts kind of like an announcement that can be interacted with by students. So the normal announcements, you post your message and then no one can reply to it. This one, you as well as students can post in the activity feed, and then students can write comments. It's a great place for open communication within the whole class. That's not linked to the gradebook at all, like in the discussions. You can post questions like I have here, or students can also have their questions / comments or anything like that. On top of that, you also have the email. It's built into D2L, so you don't have to use, it's linked to your Vaughn email, but it's built in, so it's easier to manage. You can send emails and instant messages directly from D2L to students using the class list by just clicking on the checkbox and then email.
Right. Again, there is a few differences between email and email the class list. The class list will include everyone on your roster. That might be a teaching assistant or second instructor that you have or you may have. And back to activity feed, one of the ways you can utilize activity feed, well, of course, asking questions, or let's say you're preparing your students for a group project and you would like everyone to contribute ideas, for the new project or the topics that they would like to write or to have their project on. So in order not to repeat, not to have the repeated topics, you can say, okay, please post here your future topics. So if your team members already took that one, the next team member will have to search for something else. And again, the first come, first served. So whoever picked the first topic and they decided to go with that, the second group would have to pick a different one. I think that would be more manageable instead of you going back and forth with your students, figuring, how to make all the presentations different. It's just one of the suggestions. All right, we can go next.
Elena, the activity feed, that's visible to all the students, is that correct?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Okay. And individuals, instant messages, that could be an individual student if I wanted.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So next we have intelligent agents, which is a system by D2L that sends students emails automatically after they complete certain things that you set. So you can use them to remind them of tasks or attendance, let them know that you received their submission, as just 2 examples. It saves you the time from doing it yourself. It streamlines it and it keeps students engaged because they get a personalized email by you every time they complete something in the course. So I can demonstrate them for you right now. So to access them, you're going to go to Course Tools and then Intelligent Agents. And I already have one here, but we'll make a new one. So New Agent. And you're going to name it something. So for this example, I'm going to make an intelligent agent where students will get an email whenever they complete the quiz for the week. So quiz 1. The category is meant for your own personal organization. If you plan on having a lot of intelligent agents, you could have a category for homework, one for attendance, one for quizzes, etc. I want to enable it. And then I want to set a schedule. So the schedule is how often it runs. So you can have it run one time. You can have it run hourly, daily, weekly, monthly, annually. So I'm going to do it weekly. That way I can see when the student completes the quiz. So every week it's going to run, so every 1 week. And I'm going to choose Monday. Doesn't really matter. At the time, and then the start and end date, I'm not going to set one because it's going to run for the whole semester. So then you choose the criteria. So for who this intelligent agent is relevant for, either everyone or users with specific roles. So if you select everyone, you run the risk of getting an email yourself because you didn't complete the assignment, or your teaching assistant. So I recommend you choosing a specific role and picking a learner. That way you don't get told off for not completing the homework. And then here you have two options for activity. That's the attendance portion of the intelligent agent. The difference between login activity and course activity is that login activity refers to the student logging into D2L as a whole, regardless if they access your course or not. So if there's 2 classes, they only go into one, but not B, that still fulfills login activity. However, if you want to make sure they attend your class specifically, you're going to select course activity and then select how many days. So if they haven't accessed it in the past month, send them an email. Attendance is mandatory, please do your work. And then you can create a release conditions, which is where all the other options are for intelligent agents, which is what we're going to look at. So here they are. There's many. You have a question?
Yeah, I was just wondering, in terms of the login activity
Mhm.
or the course activity,
Yes.
is it possible if a student were to stay logged in, but like not actively be using it, that would still count?
No, because D2L has a feature where it logs you out automatically after a certain amount of time of inactivity.
Oh, okay.
So you have to log back in every day or every few days.
Okay.
One question about course activity. That
Yep.
doesn't necessarily apply to, that could be, they could go back into the content and be studying and not be in the course, at the time the course is being held. Like a course being held from 8 to 12, but they could log in after 12 and that would still count as course activity.
Yes.
That's what I thought. Thank you.
But you can set
I could set the times for that as well.
Either hourly or daily, and then set the schedule time so you can check it every day. If you have classes Monday and Tuesday, so every Monday and Tuesday, when the class ends at 2 p.m., it will check if they attended that day. So
Oh, okay.
you could check it.
Frank, also if you're running your Zoom classes and you're planning to use intelligent agent as a backup for attendance, just want to remind you on Zoom, you also have a record of every single student who logged in. So if you're gonna go to your zoom.com account and you will see any of the past meetings, you will see every single student who tried to log in. So if you didn't have a chance to take attendance during the class, you can do it afterwards by going to zoom.com and see the past meetings, or if you schedule them on D2L, you can also see the past meetings from there. And we will demonstrate in a few minutes how to use the Zoom on D2L. But now it's about intelligent agent. This is also could be used as a backup for the attendance.
Thank you.
It sends out an email reminding the students to attend. If you want a list of who attended at what time, you can find that in another setting in the D2L. Any other questions about course activity? No? Okay, so I'll keep going. For the release conditions, there's all of these other options. So students could receive an email when they submit an assignment, when they get an award, when they complete a checklist, when they visit a content or not visit a content, post or not post. So it's everything you can do in D2L, they can receive an email about it. So for this one, I chose the assignment. So if they submit the assignment, they get an email. And then I select homework 1 because it's for homework 1 and create. So my condition is if they submit the assignment, then they get an email. So then you can check the repetition. So the two options are take action only the first time or take action every time. So it's kind of confusing, the difference. So if you need a more specific explanation, you can click on this link. But as basically, I can manage basically if you have an attendance intelligent agent that runs every week, for example, and the student doesn't log in that week, they get an email. And then if they don't log in the next week, they don't get another email. That's it. They were reminded once. If you have take action every time it's evaluated, they will keep getting emails until they log in, which is good under certain circumstances. But if you have your intelligent run every day, it could get a lot and they could start complaining about the amount of emails they're getting. So it really depends on what you're doing with it and how much you want to send them the emails. Then finally, you want to send them an email. So this is where you just formulate your email. Under 2, you select your contact list and you select every student in your class. It's easily done because they're organized by class, so you just select the whole class. I can't select it right now because of student privacy and I can't show you student names. But it's click on the class, click the students in the 2. In the subject, you write whatever you want to send them. So if for an assignment, you could say assignment completion, and then in the message, you write out your message. The cool thing about this is that you can make these emails even more personalized than before by using replace strings. So replace strings are almost like code that you add in your email to make it more personalized. So if you want to say hello student A, you can write hello, and then you can you copy this and it's initiating user first name, and they'll see their first name in the email. So it's really personal. It adds that extra touch, makes it less computer did it.
When you copy, please make sure you include that curvy brackets as well.
Yes, the whole thing. And you have all these different options to make it even as specific as you want it to be. And then you click save and close. And then once you do that, it'll look like this. You can do a practice run. Well, if it'll work, you'll get the email. The students won't get the email. You can run it now, regardless of your schedule. It'll let you know when it's running next, last time it ran, how many students were contacted because of it. And you can even see once it runs, a report of who saw it and when. So that's intelligent agents. It's a lot to take in, but they can be really helpful to make a more engaging atmosphere for your course.
Yeah, for the awards, this is one of the tools that allows you to give a little bit more feedback to your students, not only with verbal feedback, but also assign them the awards, the badges. Many students do enjoy receiving the badges, even though, it may look silly in certain cases, but again, we're dealing with the majority of our students are younger population, and they would like to see something that, in addition to, or just, congratulations, you've done a great job. And the nice part about these badges, the more they receive it, the more it justifies your extra credit that you can give to a student at the end of the semester. So if you're debating between giving him B+ or an A, and he received number of badges in that semester, you definitely can give him an A, and that would be justified. The same for any other grades. All right, Kapusin, would you like to talk about how to set up badges?
Yes. So to set up badges, again, you're going to go to Course Tools. Everything is in Course Tools, so it's Awards. And here you see your class list, so we only have one student in this. But you're going to head to course awards, and then these are the ones that already exist, and you're going to make a new one, so add award to course, and then create. So the thing about the awards that's good is that they're not specific to one course. You make them and you can find them on all of your classes, as well as other professors can see them if both of you have the correct settings on. So you can share your award with the whole institution, and then they can choose to see them or not. So to make a new one, you click create, you name it. So for this one, we're going to name it the award for completing all the homework. And the description is complete all the homework. Then you have a choice between a badge or a certificate. And this is when you select if you can make it only for all your courses or for everyone else in the institution. You can set an expiry date if you want them to expire. And then choose your image. So you can either upload your own image or use one from the existing library. Has a lot of different fun little badges that you could use.
You can pick one.
I'm gonna pick this one. There's a little crown on it. And then use this award in the course that you're in. So save and close. Now we have our 3 awards. It's not linked to any assignment or homework, so they won't get it automatically. You have to do it yourself. And to do that, you go into Classes Award, select the student, issue, select the award you want to give them, so the homework, and then tell them why you completed all the homework. Good job. And then you issue, and then next time they log in, they'll have the little notification. It says, congratulations. They'll be able to see them in their award section. And then just a little added a bonus or something fun to keep things interesting and engaging.
Yeah, if the homework awards would be more targeted for the students, participation and attendance, that's something can help you to see, if the student completed or participated on a course enough. Especially when it's a part of your gradebook, you can give him a full credit, partial credit. Again, the badges would be a nice tool for you to remind, how much, what would be the score for that particular item that you're looking for, like participation or attendance. Thank you.
So next is quizzes. You can create, your quizzes can be simple where you have your 25 questions and everyone has the same amount of questions, same questions for each test. Or you can create question pools to ensure that every student has a different exam. So you can set 50 questions for your test, and then each student will have a different set of questions, that way they can't cheat off each other. You can also provide feedback for every question, either manually while grading, so after they take the test, they get a question wrong, you can tell them why they got it wrong. Or while creating the quiz, if you're putting in each question individually, you can write in why the answer is the way that it is. You can also set a hint for the difficult questions, and I can show you. And on top of that, you can organize quizzes by category for your organization. So if you have quizzes that are just weekly check-in quizzes, or the big exams, just an organization will help you keep everything clear, keep everything organized. It's an extra, it helps. So I'll show you.
Also, while Kapusin is pulling that one up, I want to remind you that most of the publishers, they do create question pools for your textbooks. It does make it does worth an effort to go to a publisher website and see what instructional material is available there. If you're not able to do it yourself, you can always send us the request and we will try to look it up for you. The the question pool becomes larger. So if you're basing your quiz, let's say, on 20, 30, or 50 questions, and you have a question pool of 300, there is a lesser chance that two students who are sitting next to each other, they will have any combination of the similar questions. So it does make please make an effort to take a look at your available instructional resources through the publisher. Again, if you need assistance, please write us email.
So I'll show you how to add feedback and hints for your questions. You go into quizzes and then your specific quiz, add edit questions, continue. So right now I have 2 questions. I'll add an extra one. And this is where you can add your question pool if you have questions in the question library. Got a new question. So you have all these different options. I will choose the short answer this time. So for the question text, I will just put a random question. This is a question. And the answer for that is yes. So under options, this is when you add feedback, hint, or a short description. So for feedback, after they take their quiz, they'll see the feedback saying that this is why this is the answer. Or you could add a hint where while they're taking the quiz, they'll see this hint and help them if it's a really difficult question. As well as a little short description if you want the question title and then further down, like some backstory, some anything. Yeah, so that's how you add a hint, a feedback.
Just want to mention, in the question, you can include diagrams, pictures, or tables that the students can look at and make their choice. And again, the more complex your questions are, the more opportunity for you to give them extra hints or some additional feedback why a certain answer wasn't right. You can use your questions not only for purpose of grading your students, but as a learning tool as well. So if, for example, you have a lot of questions coming from the publisher, you can use some of the quizzes as a pre-lecture quiz. So the students coming more prepared, and they are hopefully by then they have read the chapter and they answer some of the questions from the pre-lecture quiz. And after, you can spend more time on discussing the difficult moments in the chapter and give them the after lecture quiz. Yeah, so just to enforce the learning.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Next, I can show you how to add feedback after a student takes a quiz. So to grade a quiz, you click on the little arrow and then grade, and then you'll see everyone's submissions. So this student did terrible, they had 0%. So you click on their attempt and you can see the questions and their answers. So they didn't know that this was a true and false question. So that's a little concerning. So you can add some feedback and let them know why they got it wrong and how they can fix it in the future.
This is feedback available the post test, but you can also create a feedback while they're taking the test. So there is a way you can show the feedback as the student is taking the quiz. So if, for example, if this is just for a learning purpose, then let's say they choose option A and they can see right away the feedback. Okay, option A is not correct due to this and that, and then he try again, and then he will choose different options.
So that is the feedback for quizzes. And we'll go back. And that's quizzes. Next is the discussion. So discussions are helpful for communication between students for a chapter. So if you have a question you want everyone to discuss within themselves, you can organize by forums. So forums is the overarching category, and then topics is what you can grade. So for the forums, you could have the chapters or the introduction or extra questions or stuff like that. So under forum, you'll add a topic, and this is when you'll put your question and your little blurb. You can start and end time for the discussion, so they can only complete it during your set time. You can link it to the gradebook and grade it. You can also allow anonymous posts if you're looking for suggestions or advice and you don't want students feel uncomfortable with linking their name to it. You can make it anonymous. You can also implement a rating system. You can have a 5-star rating system, upvote, downvote, or just upvote. Now, the rating system isn't great if you're just doing a conversation about a chapter, but if you're asking for ideas for something, if you're debating a big project, then the rating system can be interesting to see what students like best.
Another thing that the faculty are getting confused is between what should I create, forums or a topic. Forums you can think as a general box where you're putting all the topic ideas in there. So topics are those items that can be graded, and the only topics can be linked to a gradebook. Forums and just basically containers where you're putting all your topics in there. So if you let's say if you're covering more than one book, let's say you have more than one textbook, you can create a forums for the first part of the class and for the second part of the class that you cover in the second textbook, or maybe completely different ideas that you're bringing up during the class time. Okay.
Next, we have the checklist. That's another way to help students stay on track with their classes. So the checklist, you can find it under course tools. It's not linked to assignments or the grades. So you can make a checklist for everything a student has to do within the semester. For example, homework 1, homework 2, quiz 1, submit your research proposal, do your research paper. So you make a checklist with all these items, and then the student checks them off themselves when they're done with it. So if they submit the homework, it doesn't check it off automatically. And then you get notified when they check it off. So it can be used as a way to keep themselves accountable, especially if it's an asynchronous class, or to help them keep organized if there's a lot of work to do over that week or the whole semester. That's not linked to the assignments. So to create a new one, it's very simple. You go into checklist and then new checklist. You fill up the name, the description, and then category is just an organizational thing again. You don't have to use it. And then a new item. And you type up the new item and what it's for, and that's pretty much it. The students can check it off when they're done. Now you can't use a checklist. It's only for the students. So you set it for the students. You don't have anything to check off, unfortunately.
Just want to mention the checklist is additional organizational tool to what is already implemented with the new content experience. We will see it in just a couple of minutes how the new content experience working for the content tool, where the students are getting check mark every single time they completing certain tasks. This is a separate tool, but it's just to help your student to be more on track and see if they're missing anything. So instead of sending you email and asking, Professor, can you please tell me if anything else is pending, you can say, well, have you checked yourself against the checklist that I published? And they would say, okay, let me take a look at that. And this way, you can minimize your own work and get the students more accountable for what they owe to you.
How do the students view the checklist? Is there a...
Would you check in?
It's the same as you. They go into course tools and click checklist, and they'll see it.
they have available course tools on there
Yep.
as well. Okay.
They also have the announcements tool, the checklist, awards.
Yeah, it's one of the hidden tabs. It's not too obvious, but if you're planning to use the checklist, you can mention it in the beginning of the semester,
Mhm.
and your students would know.
Thank you.
And Becky, I'm sorry, it seems like you still have a question. Becky? No, okay.
Nope, all good.
Thank you.
So next is the gradebook. It seems daunting, but it's a really great tool so that you don't have to worry about how to grade everything correctly. You can set it up so that it matches the syllabus percentage-wise. So it automatically weighs different grade items. So if you have quizzes are worth 20%, homework is 10%, it'll set it automatically so you don't have to do math anymore. It does it for you. It can keep the students updated on their progress for their grade. If you set it as such, they can see what their grade is and know what to do to fix it or if they're satisfied. And you can also set extra credit. Again, you wouldn't have to do any math because it would do it for you. You just click the setting.
And the nice part about the gradebook is once you do it in the beginning of semester, you don't really have to touch it. But from the beginning, go through the wizard and make sure that you have all the settings according to your teaching style. So if you're using the point system, you can choose the points. If you're using percentage, you will pick the weighted part. Some professors decide to use a formula. Again, you can incorporate the formula and have your final grade calculated that way. Now, the thing about the category, the category and grade items, the categories are not graded, but the grade items are. So when you're setting up your grade items and assigning them to a certain category, so the category can either distribute the weight for the grade item evenly or in the according to your according to the weight that you gave in the syllabus. So let's say you have under assignments, you may have like 3 assignments. Assignment 1 can weight, let's say 20% of that category. Assignment 3 would be 50% of the category, and assignment 2 would be 30% of the category. So all of them makes 100% of the category assignments. Does it make sense? Or did it make more or it's more confusing?
I could try to make a new one just to walk through if you like.
Sure.
So it all starts with the setup wizard where you.
Oh, here it's using the formal, but we're going to switch for the weighted just
So here's 3 options. We're going to go with weighted. As you can see, it has the assignment category is 20% of final grade, and each one is 50% of the assignment.
That's when you distribute evenly the percentage between assignment 1 and 2.
Yep. And you have this other option for points where you have you set individual points yourself instead of leaving the computer to do it. So continue. This is the release options. You can either set it so that once it's done, or allow you to modify the grades. I always recommend allowing to modify it in case there was an issue, if you want to give extra credit in that way, like that. And then you can select automatically release the final grade. That way automatically the students will see it. That's good if you want it, but some professors don't like it to be automatic. That way they have time to fiddle with it before they can release it. That way students don't get freaked out if there's something going on that they don't understand. Next is the grade calculation. You have the option of either drop ungraded items or treat them as 0. So if you drop them, they just don't count. And if you treat them as 0, they don't get a 0. It just depends on your teaching style. And this keeps it updated. But they can't see it unless you set it so they can see it. Next, you choose your default grading scheme. We're going to go with percentage. That's what we chose. And then you can select the number of decimal places to display. If you said 5, the grade will be like 25.543, etc. These are little details for the student view option. So if you want them to see their points, see the grade, you can have a grade scheme color and a symbol. The color is, if they have a good grade, it's green, a bad grade, it's red.
Yeah, just see if it's if you're comfortable with all the settings, and you can always modify them. To my personal taste, I would go just with the first two options, the point grade and weighted grade. So that would be sufficient for the student to know where he stands at this point. The color scheme, I'm not sure if it's helpful, but it's just make it more entertaining. I would put it that way. And scheme symbol, again, you may choose or choose not, if it's too distracting for you. And again, at this point you still can change the decimal places to display and amount of characters for the text item. If you have a longer name for the assignment, let's say that was something, assignment 1, IOTA presentation from the fall 2021. So that might be a long name, but as long as it doesn't truncate in a gradebook, that's exactly how it's going to be displayed. If you want just a short name, something simple as assignment 1, and then all the details they can get from the assignment itself, that's another way of looking at this. And final grade calculation, display final grade calculation to users. That would be good, especially at the end of the semester. But you can set it up right away, so the student would know if they have to work a little bit harder or they still okay, in terms of earning the grade that they would like to receive on the course. Okay, we can continue.
This is just to check that everything is correct, that you picked all the correct ones. And so it looks like we did. So I'm going to click finish. And now we have our setup wizard. So I'm going to go back to manage grades and set it up. So right now we have
Capucine, you know what? Can you go to attendance and put a check mark next to it, or actually go to drop down the attendance category and go edit? Okay, I just wanted to show you. This is how you're setting up the category. We had already set them up, but in order to create the new one, you're just going to click on the bottom that goes new, and you will choose either category or the item. Then you would have to put the name, the category. Again, right now we are working on edit item. Okay, so we can assign it to a certain category. This is all fine. Again, I'm sorry, can we create a new category, let's say homeworks, if it's not there? No, not attendance, I'm sorry. Let's do something like discussions or assignments, or homeworks. Oh, we have the homework, okay. Yeah. Like for example, if we look at this particular setup, we have homework, right? And we have homework 1 and 2. If you look at the most right column, we have 20, 50, 50. So the homework category, it's 20% of the final grade. Then homework 1, it's 50% of the category homework, and another 50% of the category homework is homework number 2. Now, if we would like to change that percentage between homework 1 and 2, we can click on a drop down next to homework, go edit. And you see over here, we have the distribution option. So we can manually assign weight to item in each category, distribute weight points across all items in the category, or distribute weight evenly. So as you saw 50-50, that was an option to distribute the weight evenly. We can, let's try the second option, distribute weight to point across the items. Click on save. And now we can go to homework 1, edit. And okay, I'm sorry. We're actually looking for the weight. Okay, so we have to choose the first category. I'm sorry. Can we go back to the category homeworks and choose the first option, manually assign the weight. Okay. And now, you know what, instead of, okay, we could have done the bulk edit also. So now you see the weight option, it's visible. So you can change it. Instead of 50, let's say homework 1 weights a little bit lighter than homework 2. So within the category of homeworks, that may weight, let's say 20%. And that was something like a self-introduction or something like that. And then homework 2, that was a research project, and that weighs 80%. Excuse me for a moment. Okay, so now we see the weight for each assignment is different. They still belong to the category homework, but the weight is distributed differently. If you have multiple, if you have all your assignments that weigh differently, you know, you can set up all of them here. Okay. What else we have for a gradebook? Can we go back to presentation, please? Right, the extra credits. Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. And the slide number 14.
So Quick Eval is a new feature that lets you, in one location, see everything you have to do for your classes, everything you need to grade, instead of going through each course individually. So if you're teaching five classes, instead of having to click through each one and see what you have to do, you can just go into your home page and see over here everything you have to do for all of your classes. So you'll see a big long list of all the quizzes and homeworks and everything. And you can filter it by class, by assignment type, and by date. And so it's a really great tool to make sure you don't miss anything by accident.
So if you have to grade a lot of homeworks or something like that, and you're not sure which class you stop working with, you can use the Quick Eval, and that will give you an update, what else is pending on your side as a faculty. Right. And if you have any questions, we have a few minutes to answer them. Okay. Well, do you feel a little bit more comfortable now as setting up your summer course?
Yeah, I learned a few good things. I used a lot of that stuff, but I also learned a few things, which was good. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Frank. Thank you. And Becky, thank you for coming today, as well as Professor Ciccone.
I got one question for you.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't discussed today, but if I look back at the years prior to this, it was easy to set up Zoom meetings within the D2L.
Okay.
How do you do that now?
Sure. Capucin, could you go back to our course? Okay, so we are in the course homepage, and you're gonna go more. And okay, this one doesn't have, because it's not official course. Can you go to any other course? Or actually, would you like us to go to your course, Professor
Yeah.
Simon? Okay, what are you teaching this summer?
I'm teaching summer 2,
I know, which course is that?
AAO2,
AAO2. And do you remember the section?
section 2.
Thank you. Okay, so more, and there will be hold on, what happened to it? Is it summer 2?
Summer 2.
Okay, give me one moment. Let me just double check something in the settings. Just a moment, please.
Well, I have to impersonate the professor. It's because my account doesn't have, I'm not an instructor, so I don't see it.
Okay, Professor Ciccone, would you be okay doing that?
No, I guess once you do it in one, you can do it in all. Any course. But I gotta know how it's done for mine in particular.
Okay. Kapsen, if you refresh the page, you will see it now. Again, that's AA02, section 2, or I can share my screen.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, 1 minute. Kapsen, you can stop sharing your screen.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay. So we are in the course, the home page of the course. We're going to go more, click on Zoom. And now on the top right hand side, you're going to click on schedule new meeting. The topic and description, you can leave it as is. The line when, you're going to pick the first day of your upcoming classes. Let's say, again, I'm not going to schedule it, I'm just demonstrating it. So it's on Monday at 3 p.m.
Right.
And you have your 3-hour class.
Right.
And you would like this to be a recurring meeting, so you don't have to schedule every single time. You're meeting with your students on a weekly basis. And let's say that's every Monday.
Right.
And the last day you're going to meet with them, that would be sometime, let's say in July.
Right.
I'm going to put July 4th.
No, it'd be August, wouldn't it?
What?
It would be August, not July. That's the first day we're meeting or the end date?
The last day of the course.
That would be in August.
Okay, so sometime in August.
Right.
And then the registration is required.
Right.
And please check attendance need to register for each occurrence to attend. That gives them, that will pop up a window where they have to enter their official name and their own email in order to come to your class. So that's a good practice. So they don't put like Bobby 67, you know, and then you're wondering who is that. Then security, you know, because the Zoom got updated as well. Now they require us to have at least one security option in place. So you can choose between the passcode, waiting room, or only authenticated users. Only authenticated users are those who using their Zoom account through one email. If they're using a Zoom account through their personal email, it's not going to work. So I would recommend you to stick either to passcode or the waiting room, whichever you feel more comfortable. If you decide to set up a passcode, please make sure you share it with your students. You can share it by email or announcement.
Right.
Videos. Please have both of the video options on for yourself as a host and participants, especially participants. It's important. You know, each meeting will be recorded. So you will have a record of your student with a video on, as well as their name. Audio option. You know, if your or your student's computer audio fails, he will also have option to join by telephone. So to enable the option of either or, please choose the third option.
Right.
Now, meeting option. Enable join before the host. It's just like the students who are coming in the classroom, but they would like to come, like, let's say 5-10 minutes before the class, which is they're just sitting and waiting for you. Mute participants upon entry. Again, you will see how loud your class is. If that's necessary, you can always adjust that. Breakout rooms. If you're planning to have your students working in a group, you may preset breakout rooms. You also have an option to do that while you're in a meeting as well.
Right.
And the last option I absolutely recommend is record your meeting automatically in the cloud.
Right.
First of all, even if you forget to press the record button, that will be recorded for you automatically. If you don't want to share the recording with the students, it's not available to them unless you share the link. The link will be posted on your Zoom account in the cloud. So for that, you have to go to zoom.us. Sorry, just gonna show you quickly. I don't know if you can see this page. Let me know. Can you see this page?
Yeah.
Yes, you can. Okay, sorry.
I think you had a typo.
Yeah, sorry. Zoom.us. Okay, so you're gonna go to my account. I'm already signed in. You can go to meetings. You can go to previous meetings.
Right.
And this is the meetings that I have conducted in the past. So let's say I would like to see this one.
Right.
And no, I'm sorry, my recordings, I apologize. Recordings. So I have the cloud recordings. And let's say I would like to share with my students this recording. All you have to do, just copy shareable link. And you can post it on your D2L, let's say, announcement page on the course. That's about recording in the cloud. If you have anybody co-teaching with you, or if you have a teaching assistant, you can post him or her as alternative host. And all you have to do, just click on save, and your meetings will be scheduled. Now, I'm sorry, I'm going to, just a second, too many tabs here. I'm going
I
to
also
cancel.
can choose for the recording. I can also choose on the computer.
You can, but that will build up, that will take a lot of memory on your
Too much memory.
Yes, so I recommend let it be stored on a cloud. You have access to it 24/7. It's not gonna go anywhere as long as you have the Zoom account.
Right.
Okay. So normally after you schedule your meetings, they will be right here. And just before your class, you're going to click on the start button and you can start your meeting. If you're sharing any video with your students and it has a sound to it, please make sure before sharing the video, you can stop sharing, then click on the share option. And on the bottom of that screen, I'm just going to take a quick snapshot of that so I can show you. Okay. One moment. Where is it? 1 second. Okay, and here's my snapshot. So yeah, this is just a part of the window. Over here on the bottom, you have share sound and optimize for a video clip. So once you have those two checked, you know, you're good to go. So the students can hear the audio and there would be no problem with displaying it.
All right.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. That's a good question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else have a question? No? Okay, well, I wish you have a nice weekend and good the rest of the day.